Hello, I'm Tom, and this is my dad Paul, and together we're going to travel Europe in our camper van. Join us! After a couple of days of rest, we went on a hike. We took the small unmanned cable car, which was close to the campsite. This particular cable car route only takes you halfway up the mountain. We plan on hiking the other 700 metres to the summit of Rigi. Compared with the main cable car route, which you can take further along the mountain from the town of Regis, this was much cheaper. You put your money in the ticket machine over here, and then you just climb in to the cable car that's just waiting for you, dormant, and press the start button and it will head down the mountain again. Just below me is where I walked the other day and then gave up due to bad weather. So I'm going to head up about 500 metres up from here now, and the summit's up there, and then there's some beautiful views at the top as well. That little hamlet down there is just where we got the cable car to. And there's also a little restaurant bar down there. Dad's just retired to it because his knees are giving way a bit. It's the steep inclines that does it. But it's good for him because he can have a couple of drinks and toddle off down to the cable car, back down to the campsite. Bye, cows. What a view. You're treated both sides to this view, left and right. Oh, absolute treat after that hell of a walk. I just had a lovely meal in the mountaintop restaurant up there, and the lady who ran the restaurant, really nice lady, she cooked this really nice, it's like a pork schnitzel, a scallop of pork in breadcrumbs with vegetables and frits, and it was reasonably priced actually. It wasn't a lot of money compared with what you're paying down in Lucerne or near the lake. And she allowed me to fill up with water as well because she knew I had a hike all the way back. Really cool. If you're into barbecues like me, halfway up the mountain you get a little barbecue, swing barbecue. You can get your wood, light up and pour that over the coals, and just over here here's some nice benches with a view. Yeah, so civilized, this country. I headed back down the mountain the same way I came up, using the unmanned cable car. The price for a return ticket worked out at £16 per person. Reunited with Dad back at the campsite, I rustled us up something to eat. We then sat and watched the storm come in from across the lake. The weather was going to be good for the next few days, so we wanted to make the most of it. We cycled from the campsite to the car ferry, which was only a few miles away. Just across the lake from where we were staying was a mountain called Nalp. According to the locals, this had some of the best walks in the area. A return ticket for 2 adults on the cable car worked out about £75. This may seem like a lot of money, but if you're going to spend the day up the mountain, then it isn't a huge amount to spend. As soon as you get to the top, you realise it was money well spent. We just got to the top of the mountain and we're both absolutely starving, because when we got off the ferry we cycled for about 4 or 5 miles in the wrong direction. We ended up arriving at the wrong mountain. We arrived at Stanzerhorn and not Kluenalp. We asked a local and she sent us back in the opposite direction. There are plenty of walks to choose from on top of the mountain. The one we chose was the most popular. It was a small circular walk. This walk gave us spectacular views of neighbouring mountains, which were a lot higher. Top of the mountain, nice mountain pathway, and a nice toilet.
Nice wooden shit house.
It's great. On top of every mountain you've got several guest houses to choose from where you can just sit down, have some food, have a few beers, watch the view. It's so civilised. I know some people don't like taming mountains, they don't want to walk up a mountain and find a cafe or a restaurant, but believe me, it's handy when you do. Yeah, it's alright, it's not bad. After a few hours we headed back down the mountain. Okay, we didn't spend all day here, but we saw enough. We had a lovely meal, a few beers, we felt a bit weary. We wanted to head back to the campsite and have a swim in the lake, because it was still very hot.
When the light begins
As soon as we got back to the campsite, we grabbed all our stuff, including the soot board, and headed straight for the lake.
You set it all on fire, a pyro in a world which you deny. But soon a flood will come and wash it away, like the sun that lights the morning.
It was time to say goodbye to Switzerland. We drove along the Lakeshore Road, taking in the beautiful views of Mount Pilatus, which looms above the city of Lucerne. We hit the motorway and headed back into France. We wanted to check out Burgundy.
And your devotion to bring my emotions to, and then this gotta have an end soon.
We made it to Beaune yesterday and we didn't do any filming. We just literally got there, pitched up, opened a bottle of wine, and then walked over to the restaurant on the campsite just behind us. It's a lovely place. It's sort of halfway from the north to the south of France. So it's a big stopover around here for people travelling down from Belgium and Holland before they get down to the very south of France. Right in the heart of Burgundy lies the beautiful historic town of Beaune, surrounded by the vineyards of the Côte d'Or. You're completely spoilt for choice in this town. It's got plenty of bars, restaurants and cafes. It's a very livable place.
What you got, well, I don't know, but don't try to pull me down your rabbit.
Little village just south of Beaune, there's a little open plan cottage with one bedroom, all farmhouse, old sort of stone walls and whatnot, and fireplace, overlooking the vineyard, 86,000 euros. I'm really tempted.
I'm fed up with this, I'm getting sick of it. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with this, I'm getting out of it. I'm fed up with it.
You can tell it's nearing lunchtime because as you walk around you start smelling that the restaurants are cooking the butter in the garlic, which obviously gets your digestive juices going. Just bought a couple of souvenirs in there, a nice camper van shirt with a bottle of Burgundy wine on top and a nice little shirt for my daughter as well. You can't visit Burgundy without visiting a wine cave because it is le capital de vin. This is a Chalonnaise wine, which is a little bit further south from here. And it's very nice. Like many of the municipal campsites in France, they're located very close to the town centre. Most of the tourist sites were just a short walk from where we were pitched. Later on that day, I took the bike to explore the vineyards, which were only a short ride away. These cover a vast area, stretching from around Dijon right down towards Mâcon, 100 miles further south.
I've been acting like a wild man.
After spending 2 nights in Beaune, it was time to head back towards Normandy for our final night of the holiday.
I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom.
Our final stop for the night was a small town called Grand Comp Maisy, which is just 25 miles from Cherbourg. During World War II, the Allied landings took place close to here. Sword Beach, Gold Beach, Omaha Beach and Utah Beach, Utah being the closest one to where we were staying. Hanging from every lamppost were photos of young soldiers who had given their lives to the liberation of Europe. It was a very moving gesture of remembrance.
Always in bloom. Always in bloom for
Well, I'm back on the Barfleur now, heading back to Poole, and what a trip it's been. Walked up some fantastic mountains, great views, had some great food, seen 2 countries in one trip, and now we're going to head back to Poole, a 4-hour trip on the Barfleur.
middle of the road. It's just the feeling of a distant melody.